In the last 8 years, the Nigerian government has put in extra effort to change the story of high malnutrition and undernutrition, reduce child mortality rates, and has also introduced innovative strategies to achieve better results.
In fact, we do know that up to 45% of our child mortality, under 5 mortality, is directly or remotely related to nutritional status. So therefore, sufficiency of food, quality of food, also safety of food are very important. They are very important parts that the ministry propagates through the primary health care department and through the Department of Family Health. It includes not only just adequacy, but the correct combination that includes micronutrients, vitamins, fats, carbohydrates, and protein that should be sufficient, not just for the child, but for the lactating mother and the pregnant woman, because the status of nutrition begins already during development in the womb and goes on to end of attainment of adulthood.
UNICEF works across the country to deliver what we call high-impact nutrition interventions. This means working for mothers and children under 5 to ensure that they have the right food from the time the mother is pregnant to the time the child is at least 5 years of age. We work closely with the Ministry of Health, with the Ministry of Finance, Budget and Planning. We work with the Ministry of Rural Development and Agriculture, Women's Affairs, because with nutrition, it's not just one ministry that's responsible, it's a multi-sectoral response that we need to do.
Nigeria has shown great commitment to eradicating hunger and malnutrition among her citizens in order to lay a strong foundation for improved standard of living for citizens and socio-economic development of the nation. The National Policy on Food and Nutrition provides the framework for addressing the problems of food and nutrition insecurity at all levels in Nigeria.
One of the major things we had to do is to hold government accountable. And so through several activities, working with government, we'll try to promote transparency and accountability in nutrition funding in the country. Part of some of the things we do is around, annual budget analysis around nutrition to check if it's increasing or reducing. And also we track budgets on an annual basis or quarterly basis to check if, there's funding for nutrition, what they are used for, and basically they were effectively utilized to implement some of the interventions that are captured in the plan. I will also say the advocacy we do is also geared towards supporting the government to implement what's in the plan. As we know, domestic funding is, when it comes to government and their work, there are competing priorities. One of the ways to get funding for nutrition is to engage policymakers and key executives in government to prioritize nutrition funding.
One of the major tools in this policy is a multi-sectoral plan of action for food and nutrition, which helps the different sectors that are involved in this government's drive to make Nigeria a nutrition-secured nation know and understand their roles.
The multi-sectoral plan of action on food and nutrition serves as a tool that has been designed by all sectors of nutrition in the country, having recognized that nutrition is a multi-sectoral program and involves all actions from all sectors to be implemented in unison. So the tool serves as, is derived from the National Policy on Food and Nutrition, and it helps each sector define their roles. The key drivers for us from the National Council on Nutrition perspective is defining the focus of the document, which allows us to see that the multisectorality of nutrition itself is something that needs high-level political will and leadership. It's something that needs an enabling environment, which is defined by skilled manpower, is defined by the teams that will be working on the ground, defined by the creation of departments through which these programs and interventions will be carried out. It also looks at the target beneficiaries themselves, because if the target beneficiaries are not clearly defined, the program will not be a flexible one. It allows for flexibility, it allows for a redesigning, it allows for a refocusing of resources to meet the target beneficiaries.
The Ministry of Budget and National Planning anchors this multi-sectoral plan as a coordinating government agency, while other ministries like Health, Agriculture, Women Affairs, Education, Youth and Sports and Labour support very strongly. One of the key drivers for the success of these government programs is scaling them down to sub-national levels. The states play very pivotal roles to achieving not just paper success but empirical and visible accomplishments.
Following the adoption of nutrition as one of the priorities, so the governors make commitments along certain areas of nutrition so that the governors can be held accountable for those commitments. And we introduced what we call a scorecard. And that scorecard essentially tried some areas of government, areas of governance in terms of coordination of nutrition activities at the states, budgeting for nutrition, passage of law for 6-month maternity leaves. So if you look at those areas of those areas that I mentioned, in all the 36 states, we have what we call the State Committee on Food and Nutrition. Prior to that, they were just not very functional. But now, in all the 36 states, the State Food Committee on Food and Nutrition are very functional.
There's a lot of food processing in Nigeria happening. We have, companies making flour, sugar, vegetable oils, tomato paste, pasta. So many things. Transformation of gari and some of our local food. So, the private sector has been providing just what people eat at a very basic level. I think another level of how the private sector has been supporting nutrition has been on the element of fortification. So fortifying basic foods with micronutrients. This is really important because as our diets have moved away from the traditional foods that we eat, cassava, millet, etc., to more processed foods like bread, it's really important that people are getting the nutrition that they need in the flour and the other flour byproducts that the food processors make. And so it's important that in salt we have iodine, in flour we have vitamin B and the A, and in sugar that we have all these different nutrients that make the food good for us. And that's something the private sector has also been doing.
This program has the buy-in of the Development Partners Group, a body made up of international and donor agencies that have joined the government to pursue an agenda of advancing nutrition and eradicating hunger and malnutrition through their joint efforts and investment in strategic areas. UNICEF, a leading member of the group, typifies the roles played by other members.
In terms of our achievements, I'll say one for this year at least. Every child should receive vitamin A supplementation at least twice a year. We have about 34 million children in Nigeria, and during the first few months of the year, the first half of the year, we were able to supplement, I believe, close to 30 million children with vitamin A. We hope that we will have the same collaboration with the government and other partners now in November to ensure that the same number is supplemented with vitamin A, which helps to save lives.
The scaling up of nutrition in Nigeria, Sun Nigeria, is another critical group that helps track success and influences progress in the nutrition space. This global network of groups aligns with already established indigenous networks to actualize a global standard for nutrition in the country.
It's not been so easy, but all the actors, both state actors and non-state actors, we put our hands on the deck, and we're all working. It's a collective action by all the sectors. That's why it's multi-sectoral in approach. It involves everybody, including yourself. Everybody has a role to play to ensure that all Nigerians have adequate nutrition and enjoy good health. So what we do mainly is to we come together under our multi-sectoral platform, and coordinate these meetings, and we'll come together and discuss through the issues, the nutrition gaps in nutrition, delivering nutrition dividends to Nigerians, and we are able to prefer solutions and actions to ensure those gaps are closed. And through our different network, we mobilize actions and we begin to support the Nigerian government to actualize their plans, their national food and nutrition plans, and ensure that we're able to achieve our set targets globally.
The journey has only just begun. It is a very long one, but continuous commitment and ensuring that nutrition is adequately mainstreamed in policies and strategies by the key stakeholders will definitely lead to success.